All right, let's talk about saving money. It sounds so simple, right? But for so many of us, it's this constant struggle. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn saving from this thing you have to do into a habit that's just effortless, something that actually builds you real financial freedom. So let's dive in.
Wow. I mean, this quote just hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling we've all had. The paycheck lands, you take care of the bills, and then, poop, the rest of it just disappears. It really does feel like it just vanished into thin air.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that sounds pretty familiar to a lot of you. You know, that endless cycle of earn, spend, and then that frustrating moment of, wait, where did it all go? It's that nagging feeling, right? That you're putting in all this work, but you're just not moving forward. But here's the thing. What if you could actually break that cycle for good?
Okay, so where does it all begin? It starts with what our source material calls the awakening. And look, this isn't some big, dramatic, life-altering event. Not at all. It's much quieter than that. It's just a single moment of clarity. It's about making a choice, a real choice, to go from a life of constant money stress to one where you feel secure. Just picture this for a second. It's, I don't know, a random Tuesday. You're just scrolling through your banking app, maybe waiting for coffee, and then the numbers just hit you. Like a punch to the gut. There's nothing there. Nothing set aside. No safety net if your car breaks down. No cash to jump on a cool opportunity. Just no real progress. And that first wave of panic, well, it's quickly followed by this really powerful thought. Okay, something has to change. That is the moment it all starts.
And that moment, it leads to this really fundamental shift in your mindset. See, for so long, we're taught to see saving as deprivation, right? It's all about giving up the stuff we enjoy. But this new way of thinking completely flips that on its head. Saving isn't about what you're losing out on. It's about everything you're gaining. We're talking freedom, we're talking choice, we're talking opportunity. And really, that is the core of this whole financial awakening idea. It is absolutely not about beating yourself up or feeling guilty for what you spent in the past. Forget that. This is about making a conscious choice, right here and now, to see your money in a totally new light. It stops being this source of anxiety and becomes what it really is, a powerful tool, a tool that you can absolutely learn to control.
So, having that awareness is a fantastic first step. It's huge. But let's be honest, awareness by itself doesn't pay the bills. It's kind of useless without a real plan. And that brings us right to our second stage, building a system. A simple, repeatable system that doesn't count on you having superhuman willpower, because who has that? Instead, it's all about taking action.
And the great thing is, the plan is refreshingly simple. It's really just built on 4 main pillars. First up, you've got to track everything, just to get a clear picture of where your money is actually going. Then, you start small and make it automatic. That's key. Third, you build a budget that's all about freedom, not restriction. And finally, you treat the whole thing like an experiment. You review it, you adjust it, no big deal.
This brings us to probably the most important principle of all. Consistency totally beats intensity, every single time. You do not need to start by trying to save half your paycheck. That's just going to lead to burnout. Instead, think about something manageable, like maybe 10%. The goal here isn't some huge, painful one-time sacrifice. It's about building a small, easy, repeatable habit that you can actually stick with, forever. Okay, here is your greatest ally in this whole process: automation. Seriously, think about it. We all get something called decision fatigue. The more choices we have to make all day, what to wear, what to eat, what to work on, the worse our decisions get. So instead of forcing yourself to decide to save money every single payday, just take the decision out of it. Automate it. Set up that transfer to your savings account for the day you get paid. The money's gone before you even have a chance to miss it. It makes saving the default, not a choice you have to make over and over again.
All right, let's talk about the B word, budget. I know, for a lot of people, that word just sounds like a financial prison, right? A list of all the things you can't do. But we've got to reframe that. A good budget is the exact opposite. It's not a no list. It's a plan that gives you permission to spend on things you enjoy, guilt-free, because you know your future goals are already being handled. It's all about clarity, and clarity gives you control.
Okay, so you've had that light bulb moment, the awakening. You've put a solid plan in place. Now we get to the really exciting part, the third stage, the growth. This is where the magic happens. It's the point where all those things you had to think about doing, all that effort, starts to fade away. The actions become automatic, effortless, and honestly, they become really, really rewarding. Seeing that progress is what keeps you going. It's so motivating. That's why celebrating the small wins is absolutely key. Saving your first $100, that proves to you, hey, I can actually do this. Handling your first unexpected car repair without having a full-blown panic attack, that feels like a legitimate superpower. Hitting that first $1,000 mark, now you've got real momentum. And then, the moment you get to seize an opportunity because you have the money ready, oh man, that's when you really feel that freedom we were talking about earlier.
And all those little wins, they create this incredible snowball effect. I mean, look, at first, putting away small amounts consistently, it might feel a little slow. You might not see a huge change right away. But then you look at the growth over a year or 2 years, and you see how it just accelerates. It really goes to show you that those small, steady actions end up building something really, really meaningful over time.
But at the end of the day, the biggest payoff isn't just the number you see in your bank account. It's the emotional shift inside you. That constant low-level buzz of money anxiety, it just starts to fade. And you find yourself making decisions from a place of confidence, from a place of choice, instead of being backed into a corner by limitation and fear. That is the real prize. That's the true reward of being consistent.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. What are the big ideas, the key principles you can take away from this whole journey and actually start using in your own life, like today?
Honestly, it really just boils down to a few simple things. First, start small, but start now. Don't wait. Second, automate, automate, automate. Let the system do the work for you. Third, always remember, consistency beats intensity. Doing a little bit every month is way more powerful than doing a lot once a year. Next, keep an eye on where your money's going. And finally, change how you see money. It's not the enemy. It's not a source of stress. It's a tool for building the exact life you want.
So, after everything we've talked about, the awakening, the plan, the growth, what's the one single lesson? The one big idea that really ties this entire journey together?
And there it is. At its heart, saving consistently is so much less about the money itself and so much more about mastery. It's about mastering your own choices, your own habits, and your own priorities. This whole thing, it's not just a financial exercise. It's an act of taking back control. It's about proving to yourself day in and day out that you can align your actions with what truly matters to you and consciously choose the future you want to build for yourself. Thanks for joining me for this.